Good afternoon and Happy New Year to everybody. It's the 3rd of January. Now, Ben came by yesterday to pick up his 90. He stopped in town overnight and he was going to get his wheels balanced on his truck, because I don't do things like that. But I sent him down to a place in Sherbrooke, but they were on holiday apparently. He came back and said they were on holiday. So I sent him down to another place, and that was nearly 4 hours ago. He hasn't come back, so I guess he's gone back down to the States. But never mind, but what he brought was this. Here we go again. This is a 200 TDI engine he picked up. I think he picked this up in Morocco. And it's the same as the other one. And he wants me to build it up for him because he wants to sell it. So this is going to be a seller. He said it looked pretty good, and indeed all the cylinders look really nice. It could be pretty rusty inside, so we're going to strip it down to a core, and we'll give it a sandblast and paint. We'll check all the cam and stuff like this. But he says it might be good. Like I said, unlike the other one, which was highly damaged around these ports here, this looks really nice where the water jacket is. This looks like it's a good one, and we're going to paint it gold. So I've got a big box down there, so we're going to put all the bits in there and see what we get. Now I am waiting for a pickup for a transfer case, so I might as well get on with this. I might just sort of leave the camera running a little bit and do it on a fast forward and see how we get on. Like I said, the seats, they haven't come to collect the seats yet, so that might be at the weekend. But let's do it. Well, this is the next day because Ben came yesterday to pick up his 90. Again, he'd been to get his tyres changed. He turned up at about, what was it, 3:30 or something like this, and they still hadn't done them. So he came here, and while we were chatting, I took this engine apart. So there's nothing much really to report. The bearings were standard, everything was good. I got it all stripped down, but I wanted to show you the block before we do anything else. I was going to sandblast it today, but it's a bit chilly, about -11 today. But let me take the camera off now. Yeah, you can probably see why you always take the frost plugs out of the core plugs. See all the rust in there? Never had any antifreeze in that. Oh, look at it, all blocked up with flaky rust. Look at that in there. Same at the front, look. Now this one, we managed to get the claw plug out. The block in here is quite good because this bit here hasn't got eaten away, and neither is anything on the block face, so that's good. So all it really needs is a sandblast out to get all that loose out of there, power wash paint, and then we could start to put things back together again. It's not too bad really. The cam bearings are remarkably good, so we're not going to take them out. So when we sandblast this, I've got an old camshaft that I'm just going to put in and fasten down, and I won't be sandblasting anything around this area here. You know, I'm just going to leave that, and then we'll power wash it off, get all the sand and the grease out, and then, like I say, we can hone these cylinders out, see what they're like. Actually, not too bad at all. A little tiny bit of wear on them, but acceptable, I suppose. But we'll measure them up. So today is cleaning day. And this is one of the pistons that came out. and you can see the oil control rings all stuck up, it's not moved at all, and you can see blow by here where the oil's burnt, diesel. Yeah, so the rods and inside the block is remarkably clean. I'll turn the block over and you can see it upside down. Yeah, you can see here, look, it's very, very good. You can see where we get the idea from gold, because that's where it was originally. Yeah, not too bad at all. Bit of cleaning up to do, but not too bad. Not too bad. Like I say, it's just a shame it's so cold outside. But like I say, sandblast first, then degrease, you know, with the power wash. That should be good. The crank's good, except for, where is it now? Where did I see it? Where did I see that mark? Damn it. Yeah, there. Can you see there, look? It's got a ding right where the oil seal goes. Now, the only way I can fix that is to put a sleeve on it, a speedy sleeve. That's the only thing I can do with it. I can't machine it, I can't weld it and machine it. That's out, but the crank is pretty good. So what I'm going to... The sump's been beaten to hell. The ladder frame was hardly held on at all. It had a little bit of half-assed sealer on it. The pistons to be done, but like I said, we'll power wash them off, put them through the bead blaster, and then through the ultrasonic to get the beads out and make sure it's all nicely degreased and things. Now, this isn't a perfect way of measuring it, but it's another way of doing it. I've cleaned the bores out with the honing thing. Where is it now? Here, getting all over those seats that nobody came to collect. What we're going to do now is just put, we said there was around about 3/1000 of an inch. I've got a 3/1000 of an inch feeler gauge there. I'm going to put a piston upside down in here and see what that feels like. And there's just a bit of nip on there. Same with that one, just a bit. I think they're going to be alright. I'll take that back now, they're going to be good. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. You don't want pistons too tight, because when the block expands, the pistons expand, they'll all seize up together. You don't want that. Spoil your day. So I think we're alright, and a standard set of rings will be good. So what I'll do now is I'll continue to clean out the grooves, and then give them another wet bead blast, because it came up quite nice, but just needs that little bit more. So despite it being -11 yesterday, I thought I'd better get on and do some sandblasting and power washing of this block, and I also painted it. The reason, like I said, we had to do it at some point, and it's even colder today, but the sandblasting worked out superb. Let me take the camera off and I'll show you the block. So here we are inside, and you can see, well, there's a bit of gold paint on there, but there's no rust at all on there. Man, you should have seen all that rust come out. You see, I can got it right down to the base, right down to the bottom of the block, even behind, because the sand will bounce around. Man, when I put it first down here, there was sand rust everywhere. I wish I'd got it on film. Anyway, it's not a bad block. Pretty good, cleaned all out. Everything's good inside. Power washed it off, steam cleaned it yesterday. Got all the sand out. There are one or two little pock marks around here, which we can fill with JB Weld, and there's one or two on the faces as well. Now, what I'm going to do today, just to speed jobs on a little bit, I'm going to do a few bits of cleaning of parts. Let's have a look at the back here. See, look at all that rust come out of there. There's where they put the core plugs. That looks really nice. Yeah, cleaning of parts. I've got the crank to clean up, oil pump to check out, bits and pieces. But I'm going to put the plugs in. And the reason why I'm holding off, I could get on with quite a few bits and pieces because I've cleaned up the pistons, they're cleaned up nice, but I'm just a little bit unsure about bore wear. I measured it at 3 thou. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until I get the rings before we make any more decisions on that. And the simple reason is, I think that 3,000th of an inch is next to nothing, but some people are a bit perfectionist and want it almost zero, but to me, I think they'll be fine. But if I get a ring in the bore and gap it, then we can see what it's like. I think it's going to be good for another 100,000 kilometres, easy. But I don't know, some people are absolute perfectionists and want everything right, but I think it's going to be good. Right, let's get some core plugs in. Right, we're back onto this engine block. I've filled in this with JB Weld and sanded the face down a little bit in here. That's come out nice. And I actually did find the piston rings that were in a box of parts in the container. So what we're going to do today is measure up the ring gap, because there is a little bit of wear in this cylinder, but it's one of those dilemmas that, do you rebore it for this? Maybe not. So I've got a ring here. I'm going to put it in the bore just at the very top in the cylinder. There's a lot of spring on that, but a lot better than the other ones. I think the original ones had lost all their tension. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a piston. I had one a minute ago. So the pistons have all cleaned up nice. The blow-by round here when it was all black, well, that was because the rings were tight and they'd lost the spring. So what I'm going to do is take the piston and push that ring just a little bit down so it's nice and square. See, like that? Not too far, because we want to get it under the ridge where this would be. So the ring can only come up the bore so far. You get it? And it's made a little ridge. So we've got that. That's that. And now we're going to measure the gap. Right, we get our feeler gauges. I'll show you this in a minute, but I'll just get some gauges ready. Right, so I've got the piston ring in here, and I've been going through my set of incremental feeler gauges, and I've got it down to about 28.28. It's not bad. It's like that's in inches. In millimeters, it's what is it? 0.1, 0.711. They're getting a bit worn out, these, you know. Yeah, the top ring is supposed to be 0.04 to 0.65, and this is 0.711. Well, I think that's going to be all right, and especially with new rings in. Let me show you. I hope you can see the gap there. That's the gap, and it's not much. I don't think we're going to get it any better than that. And that's the part just under the ridge. We can push it down a little bit more, but it doesn't change much at all. Yeah, so you can see here 0.4 to 0.65, and we're on 0.711. Fractions, you know, or 28,000th of an inch. It could be up to 25,000th of an inch. Gee whiz. I think they're going to be fine. So I'm going to pass that one. I think it's going to be all right. It's a used block. It's a used engine, but going to all the paraphernalia of reboring it and new pistons just for that, I really don't think it's worth it. And especially with new rings in, it's going to be good. Now, you don't want these rings too tight that they're going to touch. If they are, then you have to file them down till the gap's correct. It did say in the instructions, if the gap's too small, get a bigger ring and file it down a bit. Wow, who's going to mess about with doing that? So I think today we can put the the cranking, but again, I went down to see JP. I took this down to JP's yesterday to see what we could do with this crank. And he said, well, we could put it on our surface grinder and grind that, well, not a surface grinder, but rotary grinder, and grind that out. But he said, no, I think he said a speedy sleeve would be good, because then he said the seal might not seal very good. But that little ding there is right where the bloody oil seal goes. So I need to put that crank in first. JP's all checked all the journals out, everything's good. But just that thing there. And it's a really bizarre sign. It's 99 point something millimeters. I think it should be 100, but anyway. We can get a speedy sleeve to go over that that's in a very fine range. They are incremental, but we've got to have to order one. So I can put, if I can get a speedy sleeve for it, that means that I can put this crank in today and put the pistons in and start to build this engine up. Pretty good, eh? Well, this crankshaft is turning out to be a hell of a job. I went downtown to the bearing shop to see if we could get a sleeve for this. Because this shaft is metric and everything else here is in inches, it's either too big or too small. This is 100 millimeters apparently. But JP measured it up yesterday and he said it was 99.41. But the seal is for 100 millimeters. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, they didn't. I could get a sleeve that's too small and tight on the shaft, but it'll be too small for the oil seal. Bugger. So I'm going to disappear and take the crank back to the man himself and see what our options are, because we were talking about it yesterday that he could grind it a little bit, you know, put it on his grinding machine like for grinding shafts. He said that wouldn't be a real problem. The only problem was, how do we weld it? Because I don't weld that, I don't know. The problem with welding is if it makes a crater next to the weld, it'll be like a sort of little mountain which we can grind off and then put on the surface, not surface, rotary grinder, grind it round again. But is it going to leave a little crater mark around the outside and tear the seal? I don't know. I'm going to go and see him now.